I'll give it a quick second before I go all the way in. But yeah, if the quality doesn't look as good as it normally does, it's because I had to switch up my phone because my original phone that I make all my videos with ended up not getting service for some weird reason, so I can't go live on that phone. So I got to do my other phone, which is not as great of a camera quality. But uh, but I still wanted to do it anyway. It was either that or do like a recorded live where I can put the music and stuff in there and then upload and. But that'll take some time, and I won't be able to get the video up until like tomorrow or something like that. So um, I didn't want to do all that. So I just ended up just doing a live now on my not as good phone. But uh, but what's up, Antonio? What up, though? Glad to have you here, man. But yeah, I heard from strategists that this chapter is actually pretty dope. You know, he said it was lit. So and then the chapter kind of got me. The chapter name kind of got me hyped too because it's Lady Dawn's child. So I'm just like, okay, is this shit with Chul? Maybe we get some backstory about Lady Dawn and maybe his father and how growing up. I still don't understand for the life of me though. Like if Asuras can make, if they have their children via eggs, how are they mating with human beings with Jinn? And then if you are mating with human, did Chul come out of an egg or is it something else that happened in order for Chul to get made? Like I'm really curious about that shit. Like how does that work when you're having babies with a human and you're an Asura and you normally have the kids come out as an egg? That's really crazy to me. But this chapter's supposed to be hype, so I'm ready though. I'm ready. I didn't want to wait any longer on it. So it looks like this starts from Cecilia's perspective, which is whack because don't nobody like Cecilia. But um, but yeah. So let's just get into it. Hopefully I'm sounding good and the quality's not too terrible. But mostly just you guys being able to hear me is kind of what's most important. But anyway, so let's get into the chapters. Hopefully it's hype. Um, Cecilia. Okay. As I watched the Phoenix slump, okay, so talking about Chul, okay. His core overdrawn, backlash ripping him from consciousness. A memory that wasn't my own blistered up in my mind. A boy running and laughing, his mismatched eyes, one burning orange, the other icy blue, sparkling with joy and wonder. Now those same God, I fuck up saying this word. Mismatched eyes rolled back into his head as he tumbled into free fall. You know, I just I just always gotta bring this up, and I know it might be a little bit annoying sometimes, but just like, how are you so evil? Like, how can you just? I'm talking about Cecilia. Like, how do you just do all these things, and you don't feel any sort of empathy? You don't feel any sort of sorrow. You don't feel nothing. You're just a complete stone faced, cold hearted person when you wasn't that way growing up. With everything she went through with Arthur slash Gray and Nico and got friends and shit. Like you wasn't Stonehearted, but then you get here and you're just like, I don't give a fuck about nobody. I don't give a fuck about who I kill. I don't give a fuck about what anybody's been through. I'ma do what I'm told, like a good little soldier slave. And her whole character is just so, it just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, and then now she got Lady Dawn's memories and shit, and she's like, "Oh yeah, seeing the memories of my kid growing up," and just like squash all those memories. I don't give a fuck about that shit. You know, a grown is gonna be happy with him being dead, and that's all that matters. Like, God, somebody need to kill her already. If she just died, the story would be so much better, man. It would. Anyway, I was looking at Lady Dawn's child. There was no doubt the taste of her manna lingered in my senses, creating a sort of resonance with his own. I could feel their connection, was now a part of it, like there were two magnets linking us. Along with the connection came emotions that also weren't mine: protectiveness, despair, and a bright, blistering fury. Yeah, but she's not going to succumb to those emotions though. What's up, Micah? Though I saw you, Micah. I didn't forget about you. But anyway, along with yeah, so the connections came. So despair. She's not going to fall victim to those emotions. Not my emotions. I thought bitterly of all the alien thoughts, memories, and ideas that have been stuffed into my head since being reincarnated. This isn't someone I care about. Who do you actually care about, though? Because you don't treat Nico like you care about him. So, who do you really care about, Cecilia? Anyway, taking a firm hold of the surging motherly instincts, I tamped them down, burying them. Who the fuck is this? Cro- Croax? I don't know how to pronounce these names, y'all. Anyway, uh, Korox, I don't even know how you say it, swung low and grabbed the unconscious Phoenix by the back of his clothes. He shot a questioning look at me where I was hidden among the smoldering branches of a broad-leafed tree. I opened my mouth to speak, but before the words left me, the world erupted into fiery hell. Okay, the world erupted into fiery hell. So who is this? Because it doesn't seem like it's her. So like, what is it, like a flaming earthquake or something? The flames started by the battle roared into the sky, painting the world in a red that burned like a falling sun. So this must be Chul's flames, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because he was like making the sky all red and shit from all the flames and the fire. So maybe this is like a, I don't know, a self-preservation instinctual type of ability when he went unconscious or something. Or maybe this could be somebody else controlling the flames. The flames started by the battle roared into the sky, painting the world in a red that burned like a falling sun. The air scorched my lungs, combusting into smoking fire. My clothes smoldered, and the little flames licked up from my protective barrier of mana shrouding my body. Even my senses seemed to burn beneath the swelling mana, as if I were staring at the sun. Reaching out, I took hold of the mana and tried to smother it, but the will controlling it resisted, driving me back. Even every time she tried to use her abilities to try to control mana, it fucking irritates me too. Just like, bitch, who are you to try to control other people's mana and smother some shit that's going on? Like, no, just let it happen. You ain't all powerful. I just hate her so much. Anyway, but how? Who? Who could? Who could resist my control of mana? I gasped out loud, astounded. A man descended into the inferno. The sudden roaring wind seemed to barely ruffle his hair, just as the smoke failed to blind his yellow eyes. So he's got yellow eyes. A man descended into the inferno. The four surviving wraiths all faced the man, but they were having an even more difficult time resisting the effect of the spell. They exchanged uncertain looks. Who is this with the yellow eyes? Do we know anybody that got yellow eyes? I mean, y'all already read the chapter, but like, is there anybody I know that got yellow eyes? Who got yellow eyes? Does Mordain have yellow eyes? I don't know. The four surviving wraiths all faced the man, but they were having an even more difficult time resisting the effect of the spell. They exchanged uncertain looks and threw searching glances down into the trees in my direction. Servants of Agrona. The reverberation of the man's voice suddenly told me who he was. His identity contained within the memories shared by Lady Dawn. His identity contained within the memories shared by Lady Dawn. Okay, so somebody that Lady Dawn knows. Could it be Chul's father, maybe? Maybe it could be his father, though. I don't know. I don't know. Arthur doesn't have yellow eyes. It's more like a. I mean, they always say it's like staring into the sun. So isn't it like a reddish, orange, yellow type of combination type of thing? Because they always say it's like looking at the sun or peering into the sun. So, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so servants of Agrona, right? Your hostility within my own domain. It's got to be Mordain. Your hostility within my own domain will not be tolerated. This place and everyone within it are under my protection. Mordain of the Asclepius clan said firmly, you test my sworn neutrality. Yeah, I think it's like, yeah, neutrality. By attacking here. Give me this member of my clan and go. Okay. So we finally, okay, this is what I was waiting for. We finally get to see Mordain and what he can maybe possibly do, because I don't think they're going to just retreat. So Mordain is of the Phoenix race. He's the Lost Prince. Lost Prince has showed up. So, because the whole theory that I was working in my head was, I was like, okay, Mordain told him to rush there. And there's no way that he didn't know that they were around. So either he was okay with him getting killed, or he had some reason for them to fight. Like he wanted them to fight for some reason or something. But he showed up. So now I'm thinking that he's not an enemy anymore. He's not a potential enemy because he still wants to protect Chul. So it's not, so that's not what it is. So he got some reason that he wanted them to fight for some reason though. So I wonder why. Because there's no way he didn't know that they were around and knew that they were going to follow him and knew that he was going to fight him. So, okay, let's see. Let's see if he fights, man. If this dude fights, then my whole theory on how strong this dude is, like top three, top five, it might be confirmed. Because if he can take them out easily, probably not easily, but if he can take them out without like hurting himself or anything like that, man. Anyway, let's just continue. So, your hostility within my own domain will not be tolerated. This place and everyone within it are under my protection. Mordain of the Asclepius clan said firmly, you test my sworn neutrality by attacking here. Give me this member of my clan and go. He's probably got a way to heal his arms, now that I'm thinking about it, because like, why would you wait this long? Unless he was already like on his way there and he just got there, just in the nick of time. I don't know how to say this goddamn name. Is it Cloraxa? It might be Cloraxes. Anyway, his scythe reformed in his hand, and he pressed the blade against Chul's throat. It seems to be showering phoenixes on us today. How convenient. Stop channeling this cursed spell and give yourself up, or I will open this boy's throat. And huge talons of fire manifested from the heat searing the atmosphere, wrapping around. I'm gonna just call him Clorox. He's Clorox. Like the Clorox bleach. That's what he's gonna be called. The claws burned through his mana and flesh alike, rending him into charred meat before he can even shout out. Bruh. Okay, bruh. Hold up, all right? This is one of the wraiths, okay? This is one of the wraiths. Now these wraiths are stronger than the scythes, okay? This motherfucker just one-shotted a wraith. Like, that shows right there, man. The power level is unmatched, yo. I mean, he literally said that, or she literally said that the claws burned through his mana and his flesh, rendering him into charred meat before he could even shout, man. Before he could even shout. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy, yo. So that means that he get, bruh. Yeah, he's as strong as I thought he was. He's as strong as I thought he was. Yep, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. That shit's wild. The half phoenix slumped into the claw unharmed. I was still hidden, my control of mana ensuring that I would be unsensible even to one so powerful as this man. Oh, so she's just hiding. She's just hiding around. But there's no way he doesn't know that she's around. He may not be able to know exactly where she's at because of her control over mana, but there's no way that he doesn't know that she's around in the area. I wonder if she's going to attack or do anything. She probably won't. She probably won't do anything. I worried the race might give me away, but the remaining three kept their focus on Mordain. Their defense is up, but making no move to attack. Suddenly, the tree in which I was hid was engulfed in a fire I could neither control nor sustain. Reacting instinctively, I leaped into the air, flew. Yeah, bro, he already knew where you were at. You wasn't hiding, bro. You wasn't hiding. He was like, oh yeah, let the flames go up on that tree and get your bitch ass out the tree. Let me see your face. Anyway, so reacting, she leapt into the air, flew free of the flames, my skin red and sore, even beneath. Her skin red and sore, even beneath. Listen, her protective mana can't even keep her safe from his flames, yo. That shit is wild. The legacy, Mordain said. His bright yellow eyes were locked on me, his robes billowing around him and melding into the smoke. Even you cannot hide from me within my own domain spell. Do not test your limits against my patience here. Bruh, yo, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. Like, oh, you think you can hide? Oh yeah, I'm the legacy. I can hide. I got ultimate control over mana. No, bitch. There's levels to this shit, okay? You haven't reached the pinnacle peak of mana manipulation. Man, I just get one of those claws and just slice her face. You know, make some scar that she can never heal from to always let her know that she's not this pampered princess who's just all powerful. Just like have that scar be a reminder to her every day that she's a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like just do something, yo. Do something. Ugh. So anyway. Even you cannot hide from me within my own domain spell. Do not test your limits against my patience here. My mind reeled. I didn't know what to do. The phoenix was powerful, his grip over mana ironclad. Dragons still swarmed over the beast glades. So even if I did defeat him, she's thinking like, oh, if I defeated him, I'll still be in danger because of the dragon. You thinking to yourself, now you can defeat him. I mean, the arrogance, yo. The arrogance. Even if I did defeat him, could I do it fast enough to return to my task without withdrawing attention? So she's thinking if it's possible for her to defeat him fast enough to where she won't withdraw attention to herself or won't draw attention to herself and be able to just go back to doing what she was doing like nothing ever happened. That's some wild ass shit. That's some wild. Like y'all wouldn't level the fucking whole surrounding area trying to fight. Anyway, it's not worth the risk. I told myself, hoping I was acting logically as a grown-up would, and not out of fear. Wraith, with me. Suddenly, my body went rigid as a force inside of me thrust. Is this Cecilia? No, is this Tessia? Suddenly, my body went rigid as a force inside of me thrust itself against my control. My hand raised of its own accord, snapping forward and releasing a whip-like vine that had coiled around my... So she's using this moment. Okay, so what is she trying to do? What is Tessia trying to do? A whip-like vine that had coiled around my wrist. The whip carved across the space between Mordain and me. A green crescent that seemed to be moving in slow motion. The tip of the vine burst into flames. Wait. So is Tessia trying to use her plant magic to maybe attack Mordain to get him pissed off enough to kill her? But then if she wanted her dead, why didn't she just kill her back when she imploded her core and the guardian beast will went wild? She said she could have killed her, but she let her live because I have a promise to keep. That don't make any sense. So maybe that's not it. I wonder what she's doing. So the whip carved across the space between Mordain and me, a green crescent that seemed to be moving in slow motion. The tip of the vine burst into flames, which raced along its surface, blackening the emerald green of its flesh. The whip blew away to ash just short of Mordain's throat. His expression twitched slightly, but he did not move to counter. Hesitation leaking into his face for a split second. Clenching my teeth until they creaked, I forced my body back into submission, breaking the momentary loss of control, then spun away and flew speed. So what was the point of Tessia even doing that? Because I mean, it seemed like she wanted to piss off Mordane. It doesn't seem like she was trying to kill Mordane. So like, I think she wanted to piss him off to where he attacked her, and it looked like Mordane was hesitant to do anything. But why would he? Why would she want him to attack her though, when she doesn't want her dead? I don't know. But she flew at all speed. Where is Nico when all this is happening? I'm wondering. Um, and she flew at all speed, bursting out of the domain spell shell and back into blue sky and cool wind. What in the virtuous name were you trying to do? I snarled inside my own head. Tessia didn't immediately answer, and I hurried to put distance between Mordane and myself. The three wraiths fell in behind me, pushing to their limit to keep up. Looking over my shoulder, I realized Mordane's domain spell was a sphere wrapping everything within it in pure fire attribute mana. Within that sphere, his own mana pushed out all the atmospheric mana, amplifying his spell and control while diminishing that of his enemies. You thought you thought he could beat us, kill us, didn't you? Inside that hellish terrain he created. Make up your mind, would you? Really, do you want to live or die? Do you even know? Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, if she wanted him to attack and kill her, like, I'm confused. So what did she say? No, I don't want to die, Tessia said softly, her first words to me since entering Daikath. But I can't help but wonder if I'm a coward not to try harder to make that happen. Bro, you had your chance to kill her when she imploded and she like went through that whole sequence of the beast will ravaging and going crazy. You had your moment to kill her then. You literally said that I could have killed you, but yet I didn't. I stopped the guardian beast from going crazy and killing you because I have a promise to keep. So why all of a sudden now you want to try to get her killed? Like, make up your fucking mind. Like, oh, am I a coward for not trying to kill you? What? Tessia, man, she is losing points for me, man. She's losing points. She really is. But I can't help but wonder if I'm a coward not to try harder to make that happen. To hurt Agrona and keep everyone safe. Arthur safe. You need to die. Okay, why didn't you kill her when the beast will was going crazy? If not, now all of a sudden you discover, you know what? You're a big threat to everybody I love and care about. You need to die. You just now figured this shit out. I stopped suddenly, a shiver running down my spine. Mordane's domain spell collapsed. For a moment, the presence of both Asuras were crystal clear. Then the atmospheric mana seemed to swallow their signatures as Mordane shrouded himself in Chul from me. And yet, something was still there. No sense of their mana signatures, but the resonance I now felt with Chul couldn't be so easily disguised. So, okay. This seems like she can still sense Chul because of her having his mom's mana. And so the connection with Chul is stronger, so she can still sense him, even though Mordane is hiding their signature, so that way he can go back to his home and not be followed. But now it seems like he could possibly be followed. I mean, okay. Okay. Gathering my own mana, I pushed out a condensed sphere and sent it hurtling forward at about the same speed I've been flying. Follow as long as the spell lasts. Then return to the others and resume your hunt. Okay, so she's making them think that she's still running away. The three wraiths gave me similar looks of confusion. When I waved them on, their hesitation broke and they sped away, following the miniature sun now rushing over the forest canopy. Drifting down under the cover of the trees, I began slowly moving back in the direction where the wraiths had fought against Chul. The wind carried the smell of smoke and burning, and there was a constant flow of atmospheric mana back into the void left behind by the domain spell. A constant flow of atmospheric mana back into the void. Okay, so all the mana left, and then now it's going back in. Um, Anger welled inside me. Anger at myself for having to run away from Mordain. I mean, like, you're just the unstoppable killer. You can kill everybody and anybody. Won't kill a Grona. Won't kill a Grona, but can kill everybody and anybody. And there's an enemy that you got to retreat from. You hate yourself for it. Like, bitch. Oh, God. The anger welled inside me. Anger at myself for having to run away from Mordain. For allowing Tessia to take control. If it was your goal to kill us both, you should have let me die during the integration. That's what I'm talking about. Finally, logic. I seethed to the elf as I searched for the resonance. Was it easy for you? When you killed yourself on Gray's sword, she responded. Her voice laced with bitterness and regret. I chewed the inside of my cheek and careful to keep my mana in check in fear of Mordain sensing me. I still did it, didn't I? Yes, you did. But you did it to escape, to run away from what you couldn't handle. A beat of silence lingered before she spoke again, her thoughts growing more confident. I don't want to die then. No, I didn't. I didn't want to die then. And I didn't want to die now. Oh, all right, I'm fucking up. I'm fucking this up. I didn't want to die then, and I don't want to die now. But I'm trying to do what I can to help, to fight back, unlike you. Just because you know my memories does not mean you know what I went through, I snapped, pausing my pursuit. You have no idea what I've had to endure, or what I'm willing to do to make sure Nico and I get the life that we deserve. Y'all don't deserve shit. Nobody deserves anything. Anyway, with newfound resolve, by the way, that's one of the words I hate, like deserve. Nobody deserves anything in this fucking world. You earn it. There's no deserving. You're not born with anything. Like, you earn that shit. Anyway, with newfound resolve, I took a moment to align my mana signature with the ambient mana around me and resumed tailing Chul, letting the slight pull from his core guide me. I moved forward carefully, quietly fitting through the lower network of branches, my entire consciousness focused on that small tug in the distance. Suddenly, the connection with Chul's mana was completely severed. I felt a spike of fear as adrenaline surged through me, and I increased my speed, aiming for the last place I had felt him. My thoughts started to knot themselves into a jumble, but I tried to let my mind go blank again, remembering only the sense of where that tug had been before it was blocked. I slowed again as I got close to where I thought I lost the sense of it and settled down into the roots of a giant silver-barked charwood tree. It has to be nearby, I thought, almost hoping for a reluctant confirmation from Tessia. What was I going to say? Yeah, the entire Beast Glades were ringing with the echoes. Did you say I sound like Michael Jackson? I mean, that's kind of funny. That's funny. The entire Beast Glades ringing within with the echo of all that mana pouring. Yeah, the entire Beast Glades were ringing with the echo of all that mana pouring between Ephiotis and Dicathin. Wait, we're ringing with the echo of all that mana pouring between Ephiotis and Dicathin? What do you mean the mana is pouring between? So what? You can feel the mana, but you can't find that rift in the space or whatever the fuck? But there were multiple sources of shrouding magic at work. In the glades as well, now so close, I could feel the edges of such a spell, or rather, many layers of the spell. It was subtle, nearly undetectable by design, but I could see the mana, feel the way the shrouding spell pressed against the atmospheric motes, taste the complex compression, smell the hint of that unique attribute that made Phoenix mana different. So what? Now she can sense where the... Okay, Mordain's spell was powerful. It had to be. He'd been hiding his people from Agrona Vritra and Kez's Indra for centuries. But what mattered more than power was control. And mine was greater than either of theirs. Oh, okay. All right. I closed my eyes and steadied my breathing. My own mana was perfectly in equilibrium with atmosphere, hiding me from anyone who might, in turn, be searching for me. The charwood was rough and cool against my back. So what? She's about to now break open the spell that he's using to hide the hearth from everybody. Um, the charwood was rough and cool against my back. The rich and smoky scent of his leaves reminded me of brewing tea. Mana-laden wind sent ripples through his leaves, which rubbed against each other with overlapping echoes of soft scratching. The tree was breathing. I could feel its life, its energy. Limbs lifted high, high in the air, spreading and seeking the sun and mana, while the roots dug deep down into the soil. It was almost beautiful how even without a core, without a core, purified that mana into something else, something new. A plant attribute deviant. Wait, a plant attribute deviant form uniquely its own. The mana spread throughout it, leaching into the soil, mingling with the earth attribute mana and giving it life and energy. I could sense it in every twig, leaf, and root. The roots of this charwood, along with all the others in the part of the beast glade, seemed to grow at an angle as if they were drawn toward something. They didn't spread out evenly, but were pulled in one direction, diving down deeper than any other trees nearby. I let my senses trickle down. I mean, she's gonna find the hideout. What she's gonna do after she finds it, I guess, just report to Grona and let them know that she found it. They spread and entwined, and I felt the shrouding spells move past me like a parting veil as I followed, blind to everything except the plant attribute mana. As my consciousness moved beyond the layers of shielding, I suddenly felt again the specific mana signatures of Mordain and Chul, and many others besides. A smirk tugged at my lips as I wiped the bead of sweat threatening to roll into my eye. Do you see now? It was inevitable from the start. Your purpose, your fate, was to be the vessel for my reincarnation, I thought smugly. I mean, she's just an evil cunt, yo. Like, I swear to God. Like, it's like she's just born to be the villain. And it's just, we don't know why. It's just like she's just reincarnated and she's just a villain. Like, she's literally telling this woman who you took over her body, like, oh, no. Your whole purpose in life was to be the vessel for my reincarnation. Do you see now? It was inevitable. I'm going to get what I want. And what I want is going to align with what Agrona wants. And I'm going to give Agrona what he wants. And I don't care if I have to kill millions and billions of people to get there. I'm going to do it because I'm an evil psychopath. And it don't make any goddamn sense. Okay. If that's the case, I look forward to seeing what fate awaits you. A coward too afraid to even see the truth. I don't care. Like, listen, at this point, I don't care about her being a coward. I don't care about her running away from the truth. I don't care about her making up her own reasons for doing anything. Like, somebody just needs to peel the skin from her body, cut her head off, and then take her soul and ground it into dust and then throw it into a fucking volcano. That's what they need to do. If that's the case, I look forward to seeing what fate awaits you. A coward, too afraid to even see the truth. That you're nothing more than a weapon, a tool for destruction, Tessie replied, her voice unbearably pitying. If what you hope for ever does come true, I will assure you it won't be earned through victory. It will be out of mercy. She's not, man, bruh. Man, Arthur just needs to fucking disintegrate her, man. I swear. He really needs to. My fist clenched as every fiber of my being wanted nothing more than to snuff her presence out of my mind like a candle. But the hold I had on the mana past Mordain's shielding threatened to come loose. I turned my focus back to the task at hand, letting my mana permeate through the roots within the carved walls of the Phoenix's sanctuary, edging carefully forward like walking on a tightrope until need to agitate his core. Engage, so there must be somebody else talking. Need to agitate his core. Encourage it to draw in the mana. Stoke the fires. Bring me mana crystals and elixirs. Everything we have. Okay, so Mordain definitely wants to keep her alive. But And yes, she's definitely worse than Nico ever was. But she, so Mordain desperately wants to keep him alive. So why was it so important? I'm guessing we're going to find out. But why is it so important that he wanted him back? You know, I really want to find out. It was Mordain's voice, tight with an edge of panic. No longer the controlled storm of power that he had shown me before. A dozen other conversations vibrated. Yeah, I think it's yeah, vibrated into the soil and the roots of the charwood tree, but I blocked them all out, focusing solely on Mordain. He's too far gone. Another voice said, slightly reedy, and hesitant. His core is barely drawing mana, and his missing limbs. Thank you, Avier. That's the owl, right? Or the dragon. The fucking the what is it called? It's called a wyvern. I think it's the wyvern. Cutting off the second voice. Mordain. We get Mordain's perspective. Oh yeah, I'm ready for this. Let's see what Mordain's thinking. Okay. Avier settled back into his roost to watch in silence, his feathers ruffling slightly, but I could not afford to give him any more attention. There would be time for kindness and apologies later, after. Mana poured from my hands, heat rippling through the air between Chul and myself. Soli, Soli, these fucking just have normal names. Like have it just be like a Tiffany or a Brittany or a Stephanie or a fucking Aaliyah, a normal fucking name, man. Solia. I don't even know. And Aurora. I know Aurora. Aurora makes sense to me. Okay. Two of my clan's members copied me, their mana joining mine as we sought to agitate Chul's core. But although his skin reddened underneath the heat, his core itself remained dull and dormant. He was no longer processing mana. You know who could save him? Cecilia. Cecilia could save his ass. Was no longer processing mana. Even sleeping or unconscious, his core should have continued to draw in and purify mana to support his... Oh, you know who else could save him? Ellie. Ellie could probably save him too. He was no longer processing mana, even sleeping or unconscious, or Bob or Bill. But it seems like that. What was the name? Solia or whatever the fuck it is. Seems like a female name, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, simple names. Just give us simple fucking names that I can read and not stumble. Like my English is not that fucked up. Anyway, he was no longer processing mana, even sleeping or unconscious. His core should have continued to draw in and purify mana to support his physical body, but he had put himself deeply into backlash while his body was in a state of near death. Too much of his mana had gone into supporting and healing himself, and there was none left to heal the resulting strain on his core. Like a heart that had stopped beating, we had to find a way to get his mana flowing again. Otherwise, I mean, y'all don't have any healers though. Like y'all don't have any Jinn that can like heal. That's like there. Glancing around the room, I tried to remember the lessons of my youth. It had been too long since I had been needed to heal the wounds of battle. Okay, so he just doesn't remember everything. So no photographic memory for him. A single bed was set in the middle of a small chamber in the hearth's central nest. Due to our exertions and a rousing fire in the fireplace, it had become blisteringly hot. I stood to one side of Chul's bed while my two clan members stood at Chul's feet and head, respectively. Avier roosted atop a shelf affixed to the wall in his green owl form, his large eyes following our every movement. Chul lay unconscious on the bed between us. The last of his mana had gone toward burning his own wounds closed, so there was little blood, but the sight of him, so ripped and torn, with his leg and arm missing, was enough to make my old heart squeeze painfully. Okay, so he is a kind person. He doesn't. This isn't. I mean, so why would he do that? And then there's no way he didn't know that they were around. Like, so why? Like, why did he allow it to get like this? I should have been more cautious. Wait. All right. Chul lay unconscious. The last of his mana had gone towards his open wounds, closed so there was little blood, but the sight of him so ripped and torn, with his leg and arm missing, was enough to make my old heart squeeze painfully. When I let him go into this battle with Arthur, I had never envisioned him returning to us like this. I mean, he could have easily died. Like, Chul ain't that powerful. So, how did he not envision him maybe go? Like, you're literally sending him into fucking death's door. Like, you think Agrono is just some easy person to kill? So, like, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, Mordain. Like, you threw his ass into a volcano and you expect for him to come back and not be fucked up? Like, that's crazy. I should have been more cautious, I thought tiredly. There was more at stake than the life of one clan member. I needed Chul. Needed to understand what he'd seen and experience. Okay. See, that's what I thought. I thought that but what's up, Lebo? What's up? You late, but you got here though. So what is it called? Better late than never. But so yeah, so I was kind of right with what I had said about this. I said that maybe Mordain let Chul go, because Chul was thinking about how Mordain didn't let him go because Chul wanted to go. It had to be for some other reason. And I was saying that maybe the reason that he let Chul go is because he wanted him to relay like information back to him, to let him know like, you know, what he experienced, things he's seen or whatever. And so that's exactly what he's saying. Like, he said he needed him to what is that? He needed to understand what he'd seen and experienced since leaving the hearth. He was my eyes in the world to see its current shape. The dowsing rod, okay, the dowsing rod with which I would find the truth of the events unfolding across both continents. I closed my eyes and let out an old man's heartfelt sigh. Hello again, Arthur, Avier said, and my eyes snapped open. Wait, bro, when the fuck did Arthur get there, yo? Wait, did he find out that from the Lances that, oh yeah, Chul left, and then he was like, if he left, there's only one place he could have gone. Man, Arthur just like showed up out of nowhere, or maybe he used the teleportation gate or something. I don't know. Maybe this motherfucker can like teleport between space and shit, and like mark the area. Like, okay, I'm gonna come back here and just fucking God step to the area. Like, no big deal. Like, man, let's fuck it. What? Arthur, bro, he just showed up like, oh, hello, Arthur. So, Arthur Levin was standing in the entrance, staring aghast at Chul's prone form. I hadn't felt him enter the hearth. Hiding my surprise, I welcomed him. So he hadn't even felt him. So he did some type of teleportation, man. He couldn't even feel him enter, unless he was just too distracted, maybe. Hiding my surprise, I welcomed him. What trick of fate brings you here at this moment? I asked, watching him closely for any sign of his intentions. What happened? He asked, outwardly bewildered. Words failed me, and my composure cracked. My intention to hide the deep pain I felt in my own failure slipping as my facial features trembled. I had to recall Chul to the hearth, but I was unaware of the legacy's How are you unaware? What, she was hiding? Maybe she is good at hiding. But wait. Okay. So I'm kind of understanding this now. So she is that good at hiding herself. It's just that, and she's watching this shit, all this happening. So that's crazy. But so she is really good at hiding herself. It's just that he was only able to find her because he made that sphere, which is that domain spell, and so he was able to sense where she was at in the domain. But without that domain spell, he wasn't able to sense where she was. So he probably sensed the wraiths, but then again, he wouldn't have been able to sense the wraiths because she was, remember, she said that she was hiding any little slippage of their mana or whatever that they might have had leaking. So I guess he didn't know that they were out there. So she's that good. The wraiths are that good, and then with her being there, she masks any other slippers that they have, so they're moving in complete invisibility. So yeah, I guess that answers the question. He didn't know. He didn't know they were there. But why did he want him back so fast, though? I wonder if that question will get answered. I was unaware of the legacy's presence within the Beastglades. She attacked them with a group of basilisk Lesserines. Wraiths, I believe they call themselves. You are here just in time to wish Chul farewell. I cannot save him. Even as I said the words, I understood them to be true. There was nothing else I could do for Dawn's child. Why did you... Wait. Arthur seemed to struggle for a moment to make sense of what I said. Why... What do you mean you can't save him? These wounds look bad, sure, but he's an Asura, or at least half. He suddenly went quiet, his gaze looking right through Chul. I knew what he was seeing. His body is too weak and injured to sustain itself. With so little mana, not only is he horribly wounded, but his body is starving as it tries to heal. So maybe he can use the mana and influence it, like, I don't know, use some ether or use realm heart. Like, there's gotta be something Arthur can do, right? His body is too weak and injured to sustain itself. With so little mana, not only is he horribly wounded, but his body is starving as it tries to heal. We have been unable to alter the state of his core, and no elixir we have used has been properly absorbed. The imbalance between the strength of his physique and his core, Arthur said softly. His brows pinched together and gave me a fierce glare. You said the legacy? She did this? I rested my hand on Chul's burning forehead, remembering the feeling of her will battering against my own. Knowing now was not the time for the full story, I only nodded. Arthur moved closer to the table. His hands were clenched into white-knuckled fists at his sides. He shouldn't have been alone. He was supposed to be in Volduriel with my sister. His eyes lit up as he had a sudden desperate thought. Ellie, I said it! I said it! She can manipulate mana, push it directly into his core. Maybe she can... I nodded along, already knowing what he intended to do, or what he intended to suggest. Although it is unlikely to stimulate a core so weak and unresponsive, I would try it gladly. I would try anything, but there's simply no time. Arthur, by the time we can bring her to Volduriel, Chul will be... You have to... How the fuck did he get there, though? You have to have some way to... Your phoenixes, damn it, Arthur snapped, his glare sharpening into genuine anger. Why the hell did you send him out there alone, Mordain? What were you thinking? I knew he was speaking from fear and frustration for his friend, and I did not take his words to heart, accepting their weight and feeling no bitterness toward him. When I spoke, I took care with each word, not wishing to cause him further pain in that moment. I thought the need was great, Arthur, but you are right to be upset with me. It was my own impatience that brought Chul into the open. And I feel your frustration will only grow as you learn everything. I think he said that to him, right? The other Asura, Arthur said suddenly, jumping to a different trail of thought. Surely the dragons, Kezes, will have magic capable of healing even these wounds, right? I couldn't help the sorrow expression that settled on my features. Perhaps. The dragon's Vivimarts can be quite potent, but when an Asura can no longer absorb mana, there is little even the most powerful healing spells or elixirs can accomplish. So basically right now, as I understand it, his body because he went into backlash, so he used too much of his mana in his core. And his body sent like all the mana to try to like heal his wounds. So not only did he overuse his mana, but when he was dying, his body took all the remaining mana from his core and used it to try to heal his wounds, not leaving anything for his core. And now his core is just depleted and is not drawing in any more mana because it's been overused and depleted. And so he can't heal because his core is dying or his core is dead. And I don't think he can survive even though he's half Asuran. I don't think he can survive without a core the way that humans can. So his body is fine, but his core is dying. And so they don't have any way of healing his core. So they got to like try to jumpstart his core into taking in mana. So even though they gave him elixirs and everything, it's not going to matter if he can't absorb any mana. So the elixirs uses mana. So they can't, like, it doesn't matter. You can flood his body with mana, but if his core isn't absorbing any of it, then there's nothing you can do. So basically, Ellie might be able to do something. I already know that bitch Cecilia can do something, and I mean I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do next. Um, so there has to be something. Arthur said, running his wait. So let me go back. Perhaps the dragons. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The most powerful healing spells and elixirs can accomplish. Backlash in an Asura is rare, Arthur. We have sufficient mana in our cores to prevent it in all but the most dire situations. There has to be something, Arthur said, running his hand through his hair, his eyes wild. Maybe he did something. Some magic with his ether. Oh, he's probably trying to use Aurora's Requiem or something like that. Or maybe he might use Remheart. I don't know. He did something. Some magic with his ether that I couldn't sense, and then began spilling items out of the bed beside Chul. I have elixirs, all kinds of things I've picked up in my travels, just in case. Here, go through it all. This, he held up a small vial of rich plum-colored liquid. Or these, spread out on the mattress. This motherfucker, I mean, he's trying everything. He's like, listen, I got all this stuff. Like, one of these got to be working. Spread out on the mattress were 3 faded green scales, each the size of a clamshell. Soilai leaned forward, staring wide-eyed from the pile of treasures to Arthur, then to me. Arthur gave her a hopeful look. Moving around the table to stand at his side, I scooped up the artifacts and held them out. It's just not enough. Not nearly enough. But you know that already. He seemed to deflate, taking the objects and making them vanish again into some sort of dimensional storage. He searched my eyes, but for what, I couldn't be sure. Some meaning in Chul's death, perhaps? Or the truth? And thinking that, I realized something. What are you doing here? I asked, hoping my voice sounded kind. You could not have known about Chul, so why did you come? He waved the question away. Does that really matter right now? It's important, but first we need to, his eyes widened yet again. And again he activated his dimensional storage. Elixirs. I'd nearly forgotten. The tier elixirs that he had got from, what's his face? From the Asclepius, not the Asclepius clan. What the fuck was it? It was the, were they phoenixes? No, they weren't phoenixes, were they? I don't remember. But the tier pearls that he was going to give for what's her face, the ceremony, and she ended up not taking them. So maybe those might be able to work. Elixirs. I nearly forgotten that he called them powerful elixirs. I felt my brows inch up. What elixirs, Arthur? A gasp burst out of me before I could help it as I stared down the 3 objects held loosely in his hands. Moving quickly but carefully, I wrapped both my own hands around his and gently pressed his fingers so they closed firmly in the 3 bright blue pearls. Careful, Arthur, careful. His expression was thoughtful as he took in my reaction, like he was weighing in his mind. Do you know the value of what you carry? What the fuck are these, man? Are they that special? And he just gave them as like a gift, like, here you go. And maybe that was the reason why she didn't take them, because they were like too powerful. Like, oh, here you go. Here's like a token of like, here's a gift. And she's like, because I remember they were looking at him like dumb. What is it called? They were looking at it like they were dumb. Like they were just like wide eyed and just looking at the things that he was trying to give. And they ended up not taking them. Like, no, you can't give me this shit. So maybe they were just too valuable and they didn't want to take them. Okay. So careful, Arthur. Careful. His expression was thoughtful as he took in my reaction, like he was weighing it in his mind. Do you know the value of what you carry? Arthur returned my uncertain gaze with a clarity and purpose that surprised me, even coming from one such as him. When I attempted to give these away before, an Asuran lord refused to take them because they were too valuable to accept. I'm not a fool, Mordain. I know how precious these morning pearls must be, but all I care about right now is whether or not they will help him. What are they? Avier asked curiously, his head turning sideways. Soilai or Soli, who fucking knows? Aurora were also looking at me without understanding. Young, so young, all of them, I thought. Saddened that those in my place no longer knew the tears of the mother, and yet hesitant to tell any of them the story. the tears of the mother. I think that's what he called them too. Um, but here's my thing though. Why the fuck would he give those to Arthur, yo? Like, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. Um, Glancing at Chul, I could see what little mana was still lingering in his body, burning away rapidly. It would only be right to tell Arthur everything before accepting one on Chul's behalf. Bruh, yo, are these like I can bring you back from the dead type of bruh, like these things got me kind of bewildered right now. I'm just kind of like, wait. Why would he give them to him? And first of all, didn't just give him one. The motherfucker gave him three. He gave him three. And so another question is, where did what is it? His name was Veneer or Vereer, whatever the hell his name was. Where did he get them from? And how many did they have? If it was that valuable that nobody was going to accept them, he just like casually gave them to Arthur though. He didn't even like seem like, these are extremely valuable. They're worth like, $1 trillion. They're worth like, 15 continents. Like, don't ever lose the like he didn't even try to act like that. He was just like, here you go, here's some three pearls, 3 tears. Here's my gift to you. I'm just like, bruh, like, yo. And then and based on what Mordane said he's only going to need one. So one is enough to be able to do some crazy ass shit. So, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. But then I'm also wondering, how did Arthur get there? Like, how the fuck did he get there so fast? Unless he was already on his way there before Chul got there. But wouldn't he be able to sense the fight though? If he was on his way? I don't know. And then you got Cecilia just out here just creeping and shit. Anyway, so glancing at Chul, I could see what little mana was still lingering in his body, burning away rapidly. It would only be right to tell Arthur everything before accepting one on Chul's behalf. The weight of his sacrifice should not be done. Wait, the weight of his sacrifice should not be done out of ignorance. His sacrifice. So wait, so he's saying using one of those tears is a sacrifice that Arthur is making? What? Could one of those tears, like, I don't know, make somebody extremely powerful or something? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't, like, why is he calling it a sacrifice? Like, he's sacrificing power to give to Chul? Okay. The weight of his sacrifice should not be done out of ignorance, but I swallowed heavily, searching Arthur's eyes for the truth of his intention. Finally, I nodded and took a single pearl between the 2 fingers, lightly easing it out of Arthur's palm. I believe it will, although I have not seen one used in many, many years. My focus switched to Solio, whatever the fuck the name is. Go find me the sharpest silver knife, quickly. Arthur stepped forward and leaned over Chul, and a blade of vibrant amethyst power condensed into his hand in the shape of a dagger. I'll do it. Just tell me what needs to be done. Like, oh, go find me the sharpest blade. Nah, I got ether, bro. Ether sharper than any blade you can ever find. I'll do it. Just tell me what needs to be done. I dragged my finger along the burning skin of Chul's chest, above his sternum. We need to cut down into his core. Open the core itself wide enough to insert the pearl. There was no surprise or hesitation in his mannerisms. Instead, he rested one hand on Chul's chest as the other guided his conjured blade gracefully along the... Bruh, yo. You know I'm also thinking about this? Like, he trusts that Arthur's even strong enough and so precise to even do this shit in the first place, right? Because Arthur got to be extremely precise in order for him to open up the core, but not too much to where you damage it too much to where it can't heal, to be able to slip one of the pearls inside. Like, Mordane's like, yeah, here's what we need to do, and I'm confident that you're able to do it because, you're Arthur and you can just do shit like that. Like, he ain't even hesitant, like, oh, no, we should wait for the silver blade. Like, no. He's like, oh, you can do it. There was no surprise or hesitation in his mannerism. Instead, he rested one hand on Chul's chest as the other guided his conjured blade gracefully along the crease above Chul's sternum. The amethyst blade parted flesh, bone, and even the toughened exterior of the core as simply as if it were slicing bread. It took only a single pass. Bruh, this is wild. This is wild though. This is the this is definitely a great chapter for sure. Let me see what y'all saying really quick. My fucking camera's going down. I don't even know. So let me see what he's saying. Larry maybe. Yeah, Larry. Damn, I'm late. But what's up? Arthur's spatial abilities are insane. She's good at cloaking. Ether most likely the best. Arthur's going to need make him an ether core. No, I don't think Arthur's going to need to do anything like that. It's like giving a 2-year-old a nation. I was about to start read Stormlight Archives, but I'm confused on which one to start. Oh, you read Stormlight? Oh, bro. If you about to read Stormlight, okay. The Way of Kings, Lebo. If you read Stormlight Archives, man, I kind of regret that I read Stormlight Archives. I'm gonna take a pause really quick. I kind of regret that I read Stormlight Archives because I wish I was able to like record and like read it at the same time because it was so much shit that happens in that story. So yeah, The Way of Kings. You need to read the Way of Kings is the first one. You got The Way of Kings. I mean, they're all in sequence. You got The Way of Kings, then you got the other ones. I don't know all the names of it, but The Way of Kings is the first one. That's the one you got to start off reading. But what you're gonna learn is the Stormlight Archives. The thing about Marvel and like the universe or whatever. So the Stormlight Archives is in the same universe as some of Brandon Sanderson's other stories, and you will learn that as you continue to read the story. But yeah, so start with Stormlight. Start with The Way of Kings. The Way of Kings is the first book. I mean, they got all the books in order, so you just read them. Read the first book, and if you're gonna read it, listen to it with the graphic audio. I mean, if you can't afford it or whatever, I can send you a link. But the graphic audio version is probably the best way. I know like the first couple of chapters is like the background noise is really loud, but man, I think you would for sure love the story. I think 100% you would love the story because I even liked the other story what was it called? That Brandon Sanderson made. It was what was it called? Shit, what was it called? I made a review about it. I made a video about it. Let me see if I can find a video because I know I made a video about it. Let's see. Oh, now my phone wants to get data. Ain't that a bitch? So my phone actually has a better quality. Now it wants to actually have data to where I can actually use it now. So that's some bullshit. Mistborn. That's what it's called. Mistborn. You would like Mistborn too. So if you read Mistborn, Mistborn, the world of Mistborn takes place in the same world of Stormlight Archives, and so yeah, it's crazy. Mistborn was dope. Stormlight Archives is dope. All that shit's just dope. And I wish I didn't read it so goddamn fast, but I did. I read it super fast and got through it. Like I was spending like fucking 15 hours a day reading that shit. Like it was crazy. Anyway, let's go back to the story. So finally I nodded, took a single pearl. Okay, I dragged my fingers. Okay, so yeah, so you open the core itself. So his mannerisms, blah blah. The amethyst blade parted flesh, bone, and even the toughened exterior of the core as simply as if it were slicing bread. It took only a single pass. Moving so slow, it felt almost painful. I eased the bright blue sphere down beneath. Oh, so it's a sphere, so it's like a pearl. So it's not like I'm thinking it's like a teardrop. I eased the bright blue sphere down beneath Chul's skin and into the core itself. I stepped quickly away, and Soleil or whatever and Aurora did the same. Arthur blatantly copied us, his gaze moving back and forth between me and the wound in Chul's sternum. Is it working? We will know in a moment. Until then, all we can do is wait. Silence lingered as we all watched, equally uncertain what the result would be. I'm ready to hear the explanation about this pearl and what this shit what this shit can really do and like how powerful it is. And he got 2 more of them bitches. Silence lingered as we all watched, equally uncertain what the result would be. Peace and calm settled into the deep-rooted tension, helping to break it apart. Everything that could be done had been, and now, here, I just got to think about this. Like, when you got Cecilia watching this shit happen, right? You got Cecilia looking at somebody who cares so much. They all care so much about one person, and she's responsible for him being killed like that or him being fucked up like that. How does she look at that and be like, all you motherfuckers need to die? Who like who says that? Who can think like that or feel that way or not just be thinking like, oh wow, they really care about this guy. Like, oh, that's some, they really care about him and the love and all that. Like, she's not thinking about any of that. She's thinking like a grown wants them all killed. They all need to die. Like, I think she's a sociopath. She just has to be. Anyway, so we'll know in a moment. So peace and calm settled into the deep-rooted tension, helping to break it apart. Everything that could be done had been, and now all we could do was wait. You said Cecilia did this? Arthur asked after a minute or more. Her soldiers did, I explained, feeling an edge of anger invade the peace of the moment. She stayed hidden, believed it was her goal that no one would discover her presence in Dicatha. I hesitated. There was something strange about the encounter. She attacked me, but it was a feeble effort, and she seemed caught off guard by her own attempt. Then she fled. Arthur was silent and contemplative, but he didn't respond. I considered everything that had happened, the unlikeliness of it all, the legacy's presence to Arthur's arrival with the mourning pearls. Tell me, Arthur, I need to know how you came to have these mourning pearls. Did you steal them? Take them by force? Did someone offer them to you in trade? If he looked surprised and affronted, glancing at the other phoenixes in Avier. No. Varun. Lord, how the hell you say that last name? Is it Achelia? I might have said it last time. I forget how I pronounced it. Achelia, I guess. Achelia gave them to me. I assumed they were a gift to be given to the Matali clan, but they refused them. I see, I said, not meaning to interrupt him. Lord Eclia or whatever, I won't pretend to have insight into his thoughts. To have gifted you not one, but 3 such things, and without even explaining what they were, shook my head, hardly believing it. Varun is playing a dangerous game. I knew something was going on, bro. Varun is playing a dangerous game. I'm surprised Kezis even allowed you to leave Ephiodus with these. Things are happening that I do not understand. My lord, Murdain, Aurora said in her small voice. When I looked in her direction, she continued. What makes these mourning pearls, what makes them so valuable? Yes, tell us the story. Tears of the mother, a Leviathan ritual. I gestured to Arthur, and he held up the other 2. One created in 1,000 years, perhaps less. One created, so one. It takes 1,000 years to make one. That is insane. And this motherfucker got 3. That's crazy. One created in 1,000 years, perhaps less. It is exceedingly rare for an Asura to die in infancy. It is exceedingly rare for an Asura to die in infancy before even being hatched. Okay, so so pretty much you're dying in the egg. An unbelievable tragedy. My throat grew raw, my voice husky. The Leviathans long ago, they discovered a process by which they break. I was about to say this, bruh. I was just about to say this. So is this like the body of an unborn child? That's what I was thinking to myself. Like, are these like unborn kids? Anyway, and I think that's what the fuck he's about to say. Um, okay. It is exceedingly rare for a disorder to die in infancy, before even being hatched. An unbelievable tragedy. My throat grew raw, my voice husky. Leviathans long ago, they discovered a process by which they break down the body of the infant, but maintain its core. Held within an immature Leviathan core, all the manna that should form and build a new life, sustaining an infant while they learn to manipulate manna for themselves. A life, that is what each pearl holds. A new life. Bruh. 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 That's wild. That's wild. So I mean, it's not technically life though, because it's not like the spirit or the soul. It's just the manna. It's the manna that's used to create life. So, but it's not life itself though. It's just the manna used to create it. So basically, I'm thinking of it as like very, very extremely condensed manna. And I guarantee you, if you gave this to one of the Lances or something, so I gave it to Byron. Don't give one to Micah, because we only got two. Gave one to Byron or gave one to Veray, it'll probably push their ass past White Core. It probably would, because that would be an extremely large amount of mana. Anyway, a life. That is what each pearl holds. A new life. I don't understand what that means, Arthur said. So yeah, all the mana that should form and build a new life, sustaining the infant when they learn to manipulate mana for themselves. Morning pearls are the greatest gift the Lord of the Leviathan race can offer. He bestows them only rarely. Bruh, this makes me like, my brain is going crazy. Like, why did he give these to Arthur, yo? 3! He gave him 3! Like, what? He said he's playing a dangerous game. Okay, let me just keep reading. Morning pearls are the greatest gift the Lord of the Leviathan race can offer. He bestows them only rarely, and only to ease the great suffering of a life that must be lived. Do you understand? I felt my mouth curve down into a deeper and deeper frown with each word. The history of Ephiodus is rich with tales of princes and kings, prophets and great heroes who were saved from certain death by a morning pearl. But each one is brought with a life unlived. Wait. But each one is brought with a life unlived. Right. Yeah, because the baby couldn't live, and so they couldn't live their life. So what? Does it have any effect on them? Like, if you give the pearl to someone, does that baby's life have any effect on the pearl, or on the person that you gave the pearl to? Like, I don't know. Are they is a spirit going to be like part of them or something like that? But each one is brought with a life unlived, an infant who could not be saved. It is never a trade made lightly. 3,000 years of morning pearls, Arthur muttered. He rolled them around gently, then made them vanish back in his dimensional storage. And I thought perhaps he was beginning to understand the weight of his decision. He gave himself a little shake. It doesn't matter. I don't know yet what Lord Escalia, I don't know how to fucking say his name. It's Escalia, whatever, wants that he would give me these. But regardless of their value, if it can save this battle-hungry simpleton from, he trailed off as the blue light reflected in his golden eyes. Yeah, golden eyes. Mana was beginning to flow from the morning pearl. It was only a trickle at first, and then a stream. Within moments, a river of mana poured forth. Blue-white light, so bright, I had to look away. I wonder if he's going to get a power-up. I think it'd be cool if Chul got a power-up from this. Like, if he got a power-up to where he won't run out of mana so fast anymore. I think that'd be cool. And that just shows just how extremely powerful these pearls are, these morning pearls. So, within moments, a river of mana poured forth. Blue white light, so bright, I had to look away. glowed from the cut in Chul's chest. It spilled out of him, boiling over his flesh before being absorbed back in through his many wounds, enveloping him in a liquid light of pure mana. His wounds closed. He's probably gonna get his arms back. Wiped away as if it had been nothing more than smears of blood on his skin. And then slowly, his missing arm and leg began to regenerate. Of course, these fucking pearls are powerful as shit. I could hardly believe it. The manner of a birth, a life, a rebirth. I knew Chul would be changed, but I couldn't be sure how. Okay, so yeah, power up for sure. For sure we getting a power up, bruh. But I couldn't be sure how. Rejuvenated not just from these wounds, but from a lifetime of grow and wear. Wow. So yeah, even the grow and even the wear and tear on his body from growing, all that stuff is like getting rejuvenated. I didn't sense it, Arthur whispered. How could so much mana be hidden in that? On the bed between us, Chul's chest expanded slowly as he took a deep breath. The tension eased from his face, and the shroud of mana began to dim as it subsided back into his flesh, filling him once again. His core is fixed, Arthur said, his voice strained. My gaze flicked to his face, which was torn with conflicting emotions. His fingers dug into his own sternum. Wait. I'm about to say, why is his voice strained? His core is fixed, Arthur said, his voice strained. My gaze flicked to his face, which was torn with conflicting emotions. His fingers dug into his own sternum, pressing hard enough to whiten his knuckles, and I understood. He cleared his throat and patted Chul's arm softly. I've done what I can, my brother in vengeance. The rest is up to you now. His face was torn with conflicting emotions. His fingers dug into his own sternum, pressing hard enough to whiten his knuckles. So what does that mean? Is he saying that he's pressing his knuckles in his hands against his sternum and he's straining? Is it because he's happy that Chul's back? Or is it like he's understanding like the sacrifice? He said he understood, so Myrdanes understands. But I'm still trying to understand myself. What is Arthur like? Why was his voice strained and his face had conflicting emotions? So maybe it's just he could have used those 3 pearls for the lances, maybe to boost them to past white core or something. And so I don't know. But that's crazy though. That's crazy. Wow. I'm surprised, man. Oh my God. Shut the fuck up, you dumbass GPS. Anyways, so I'm surprised, man. I'm surprised, and I'm actually kind of shocked that this all like happened. I didn't understand, man. Like, I guess the biggest thing for me is that we got Myrdane's perspective. I don't think he was trying not to cry, because we've seen Arthur try not to cry before. But I think that what's great about this chapter is the fact that we get Myrdane's perspective. And so, but we didn't really learn much from Myrdain, honestly. Other than that, he does deeply care for Chul. And he is a kind man. He does care about his people. So any thoughts of like, okay, maybe he did this as a game or some shit like that? Okay, that's all not true. Apparently, he didn't know that Cecilia and Erase were there because she's just that good at hiding her mana from anybody's detection. Except when he made that domain sphere. Can't nobody hide in his domain sphere. And then the pearls, man. The pearls is the highlight of this chapter. The morning pearls, like the fact that Viren, whatever his name was, the fact that he gave him three of these pearls. Cause the Escalio, whatever, or no, what is it called? The Asclepius clan or whatever the fuck it's called. No, what was? I forgot what the hell he said it was called. So yeah, so Varan, um, Leviathans. Yeah, so the Leviathan. So yeah, so Varan is a Leviathan, and so only the Leviathans figured out how to do this with a child that dies in the egg. I'm about to say womb, but in the egg. So the Leviathan clan are the only ones that know how to do this, and so it's very very rare for them to create. So I guess that means that once every 1,000 years, maybe a child dies in the egg. I guess, but man, he gave him three. That's crazy. He gave him three. So that's like the biggest thing for me in this chapter is that what is he doing? What is Varan like? What is he trying to do by giving Arthur something that's that valuable? That valuable. And think about this. Arthur's about to give her all three. He gave her all three as a gift. And it was like, no, we can't take this, bro. This is too valuable. We can't do it. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. But you think Arthur and Cecilia will use those pearls to revive Tessia? Well, here's my thing, Lebo. Why would Cecilia help Arthur do anything? And if Cecilia was gonna help, wait, Arthur will kill Cecilia and use the. Okay, okay. Now I get what you're saying. You said kill, not help. Okay. Um, I don't think so. I think it's a good guess, but I don't think so. And I guess the only reason I say I don't think so is because those tears have a lot to do with mana. And so I think that maybe he could though. Maybe, but no, I don't think it would. I said maybe, but so I'm gonna tell you my thought process. So I said maybe because I'm thinking that okay, maybe they can use, maybe they can kill Cecilia in Tessia's body. Maybe Cecilia's spirit goes away out of the body because Tessia is dead, and then you use the pearl to bring her back to life, and then her original spirit goes into her body, and then now she's alive. But the only problem with that is that he didn't say that these pearls can revive the dead. He said that they can bring them back on the brink of death. So Chul wasn't dead. The other people they were used for weren't dead. They were on the brink of death. And then they got brought back. It healed their wounds. But when someone's dead, it's not bringing them back to life. So I don't think that will work because if Cecilia was on the brink of death, using the pearl would just bring Cecilia back. Like that's it. Like Tessia wouldn't be back unless somehow, some way, Cecilia could be on the brink of death. Tessia overpowers her soul and takes over, and then and she's able to do it because Cecilia's so weak, and then use the pearl to bring her back. But that would involve knowing that she'll be so weakened towards Tessia can even overpower her again, and take over her body or take her body back. So I don't think so. I think that in order for I think that in order for Tessia to come back into her body, I think that it's going to involve some sort of ether art that Arthur's going to learn, or it will involve some insight into fate. I think it's either going to be ether or it's going to be fate. I don't think it's going to be anything to do with mana or these morning pearls. I don't think it's going to work like that. I think it's going to be whatever. It's going to be part of the ability that Agrona used to even reincarnate her in the first place. It's going to be some branch of that power. That's what I think. So, but that's interesting though. That's interesting. But now I got me thinking. I'm trying to think it and trying to make it make sense. And so that's how it makes sense in my mind. But these pearls are really good that we have learned in this chapter. Now I'm just thinking about Varan and his plan. What is he trying to like? Why did he give him three of these pearls? That's crazy. That's insane. Also, you got Cecilia. She's creeping out there. She's probably witnessed everything that happened, so she's creeping and shit. And then also the future chapter with Arthur and what he's planning on talking to Mordane about. Because remember, Arthur said that he wanted to learn more, and the only person that can tell him more or teach him more about, I guess, like the world and how all the shit works is that he needs to learn from Mordane. He needs to get information from Mordane. And I guarantee you that, or even if Mordain didn't want to give Arthur all the information, I think the fact that Arthur used one of these pearls to save Chul's life, I think that he'd feel indebted to where he would explain everything that Arthur wants to know. That's what I'm thinking by him doing this, like as like a favor type of thing. Like, oh, you saved Chul's life. You know, the least I can do is tell you all the information that you want to know. So I think that's what could happen. But yeah, now I'm just looking forward to the next chapter and the conversation with Mordane and seeing what bitch ass Cecilia's gonna do. So we got one more chapter, you guys. We got one more chapter, and then he's gonna go on a 2 week break, and then I think they resume in January if I'm not mistaken. But uh, but this chapter was dope. This chapter really was dope. I give this chapter shit probably a 9.5 out of 10. 9.5. I like giving scores, try to give people a sense of like how I think about a chapter or a power level or a movie or whatever. Yeah, I give it like 9.5 out of 10, and it's really just because of like just now I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued about Mordain. I'm intrigued about Veron and these pearls and shit. I'm intrigued about a lot of stuff. So yeah, this is dope. Um, But yeah, so what do y'all think though? Anything else y'all want to say? Y'all think about this chapter, because I think that those other two pearls, I think the best way to use them would be to give them to one of the lances to give them a power up, because I guarantee you, with the amount of mana and power that they have, I guarantee you that they. But think about it, Arthur shouldn't be that surprised because Arthur has his own ether core, and this motherfucker has said that he has oceans, literally oceans levels of ether in his core. In this small ass ball, he has oceans amount of ether. So if you can fit oceans amounts of ether in your core, a little ass pearl, you be able to fit lakes and lakes of mana. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not that surprised. But uh but yeah, I think that the best way to use those pearls would be to give them to one of the lances so they can absorb them and push their core past white core. That's the only thing I can think of. Because Arthur doesn't have any use for him himself, because he doesn't need more mana, because he everything he does revolves around ether. So it's no benefit to him. And then I'm also curious to see what kind of upgrade that Chul is going to get. So that's going to be dope. Um, and now it's really just about, okay, who will he give the pearls to? If it was up to me, I'll give one to Byron and I'll give one to Veray, and I'll just leave it at that and have them use it. But but I don't know. It will also be really good too, so that way if anybody gets like really close to death that Arthur really cares about, he's got that in his back pocket to save him and bring him back to life. You know, so that'd be a really good thing to have, like, you know, emergency plan. If somebody really close to him but to die, he can't save them. Boom, give him one of those pearls and able to save their life and give them an upgrade at the same time. Um, so that's like the only thing I can think of. But I think it'd be smarter to just upgrade the lances. But it depends on how much stronger they get though. If they get past white core, it's worth it. It's worth it. If they get past white core, it's worth it. Because if those motherfuckers can be as strong as Cecilia right now, bruh, that changes the game. If Veray and Byron can be as strong as Cecilia is right now, that changes everything. Like, all you need is one of them. One, because Cecilia is about as strong as Arthur right now. So literally, you got two people that's on her level. Like, man, that changes everything. They'll be able to wipe out a fucking attack group of raids. They'll be able to fuck up like anybody that a grown try to pull up. They'll be able to fuck them up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then not only that, they can still grow and get even more powerful and shit. You know, and further be able to control mana better. So I think it'd be worth it if they can get past white core with just those pearls, man. That'd be insane. That would be insane. That would definitely flip the tide of the war for sure, because they're already battle trained. They already know how to fight. So like, man, sheesh, man, that'd be crazy. Kara too. But here's my thing with Kara. Does Kara have a core? Like, does she have a core color? Because what we know about with Dicathlon is that a lot of them have their cores. They form their cores when they're like, you know, typically when they're teenagers. it's rare for you to form your core when you're like 11, 12 years old or whatever the fuck, right? So it typically happens when they're teenagers, and then all their core, starts from red, then it gets to orange, then it gets to yellow, then it gets to silver, then it gets to white, right? That's the whole progression. But the Alacrians are different because the Alacrians don't have. I've never heard them refer to them as like their core as being a color. Like all this shit is based off of their runes. Their runes is what they use to manipulate magic. It's not from their core. So I don't know if their core has an actual color. I don't know what Kara's core color is. Like maybe I can help me out and let me know when they mention it because I've never remember them mentioning her core color. But the first time I seen someone mention their core color that's like part of the Alacrians, but not really part of the Alacrians, was Nico when she said that his core was a murky yellow color after she reformed his core. So like, I don't know. And we know that Cecilia's her core was white at first, but nobody else, not Ceres, not um Dragoth, you know what I'm saying? Not Viessa, not Melsry, not nobody. Like even when they was in the even when they was doing the fight at the Victoria, like nobody ever mentioned anything about the color of their core. So I don't know. I mean, you would think that Kara's at least silver, like silver core, because we know that Kathleen is silver core, and she said that Kara was stronger than her, so she's got to be at least silver core. But their magic works completely different because they don't use runes, or they use runes, and the Dicathleans don't use that. So I don't know. I don't know at all. But but yeah, these pearls, man, that shit changes everything. So he definitely need to go back to Ephiodus and meet with Varan or Varan, however you say his name, and figure out what his or Varan, it might be Varan. Figure out what his plan is because that's crazy. But yeah, this chapter was dope. This chapter was dope for sure. Um, but yeah, but that's about it for this chapter, man. Um, I will say this though. I am gonna read because a couple people already mentioned it already. What is it called? What's the one book y'all said to read? The one book, He Who Fights with Monsters. I think that's what it's called. I'm gonna start reading that book, and I'll make a video and kind of go through. Is it a book? Does it have like a manhwa or anything like that? Like anything, any pictures related? Because I'll probably just read it and it just kind of, I kind of just do it like that, kind of like how I've been doing um, Tibet. But yeah, I'm gonna start reading that and see how that is because that might be dope too. That might be dope. You know, I mean, I don't know. It's like when you read a lot of shit, because I've been reading a lot of stories nowadays, which is like this is like the most I've been reading ever, any like books or anything like that. And so when you read a lot of stuff, it's like you kind of see some of the similar paths and shit. Like the story I'm reading right now with the whole Kate Daniels story. You see the whole trope of like, oh, this new villain comes out of nowhere, and now you and your enemy got to work together to fight off the this new big bad enemy because he's a threat to everybody or whatever. So like that trope kind of happens sometimes, and then you got the power levels, you got the romance. I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying, but I'll be reading a lot of shit, and I gotta find more stuff to read now because I'm getting through a lot of it so quick. So He Who Fights with Monsters will be the next thing y'all start up, and I don't know what I'm gonna do after that. But anyway, that's it for me, man. This chapter was dope. Y'all enjoyed the chapter. This chapter's got a lot to think about. Next chapter should be good too because if we continue on with, with the hearth and the conversation with Arthur and how seeing where everything goes, I think that that'll be good for us to learn some more information. So maybe we might get some more backstory on Ephiodus and learn some more things, have some conversations. So that'd be really cool. So I'm looking forward to the next chapter. And I'm on time. I'm on time this time. So y'all can't give me no more shit. I'm on time this time. I didn't wait 2 weeks. I didn't wait 3 weeks. I've never waited 3 weeks, but I didn't wait 2 weeks. Chapter came out yesterday. I'm recording today. I'm sticking to it. I'm going to try to. I'm going to stick to it. I'm more motivated now. So I'm going to stick to it. But He Who Fights the Monster is just a novel right now, but the main character is so funny. Okay, I'm cool. I like funny characters. As long as it's not any of that friendship power up bullshit, like I don't know, man. I use like my very first animated or what is it called, animation or uh anime type of story that I ever started watching was Naruto. Naruto was the first thing I ever read, and then I thought I loved Naruto, but then as I got older and more mature, I was reading Naruto. I was like, man, this main character is kind of a bitch, bro. Like I don't really like the main character, and I don't know. Like then I started to understand like the whole genre of like people started calling it shonen, like shonen manga. You know, like oh, so shonen has a typical like a type of story that they make, and I'm just like, oh, okay. So now I see why a lot of these stories are kind of like the same. You know, like I started Fairy Tail. I was watching Fairy Tail for a little bit, and I was like, okay, it's cool. You got the little fan service or whatever. That's cool. Main character seemed cool. But then everything was just friendship and power ups that doesn't make any goddamn sense, and just like I'm gonna struggle through it and push through it for the power of friendship, and I'm just like, ugh, no, I can't do it. So I dropped that shit. I know there's Jujutsu Kaisen, which I think is Jujutsu Kaisen. Is that a shonen? I'm not entirely sure. I think it is, but I started reading that, and that was cool. I stopped, but I remember that was cool when I was reading it. But I don't know. I went from like anime to just jumping into a bunch of books. That's kind of what I done. I just kind of jumped into a bunch of books and stuff, you know. Did solo leveling. Solo leveling was dope. Then did T-Bait. Then I got into just like the actual like just books itself, and I'm reading, you know, Stormlight Archives, and then I go into the Mistborn series, and then I just go into like everything that Brandon Sanderson had made. I just kind of went into like all his stuff, and then I went into what is it called? And then now I'm doing shit, fucking romance, fucking graphic ass romance and shit, which is crazy. Didn't think I'd be reading some romance shit because I always made fun of that 50 Shades of Grey and the Twilight and all the other shit. I'm just like, ugh, this shit's trash. But actually, it's not too bad. The one I had started reading, the first book is kind of shit, but the second, third, and fourth book is cool. But yeah. Anyway, so I never thought I'd be getting into all that shit, but here I am reading it, finding some type of enjoyment out of it. But then T-Bait's just been, I don't know, it's cool just kind of sticking with T-Bait just because, you know, and it's kind of cool just waiting a couple weeks for a chapter to kind of pile up for a little bit, so you got like more to read, and you're not just kind of left off just like, okay, here we are, we're just right here. So, um, but yeah, bro, you came too late. You came too late. Sorry, bro. But for some reason, whenever I finish this video, it always makes the video private. So I don't know if anybody ever tried to like listen from the beginning or whatever, and then they're in the middle of reading or they're in the middle of watching the video, and then it ends the link or something like that. I don't know why the hell it does that. Whenever I make a video on my phone, it like immediately when I end the stream, it just goes to private, and then I gotta manually go in there and edit it and make it go back to public. So I don't know why the hell it does that, but I guess maybe because I don't be on the computer all the time and I'm doing a lot of recording on my phone. Maybe that has something to do with it. But but yeah, I'm kind of just rambling about a bunch of different shit. But but yeah. So he who fights with monsters, that should be next on the list. So stay tuned for that. And then I'm gonna get to this power up the power levels video. I'm gonna get to that at some point. So just kind of be patient with me on that because I want to kind of make it to where it's not a trash video. So um so stay tuned for that. And then that's it, man. I mean, as I find more stories to read and stuff, I'll recommend them, but I haven't found anything yet. Check out an anime called Ergo Proxy. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that's about. But just keep that in the back of your head at another point in time and then mention it to me because that's too much stuff to try to keep track of right now. But he who fights with monsters, I'm gonna check that out first. That's what I'm gonna check out first. But anyway, I appreciate y'all joining me though. Y'all could go back and watch it from the beginning. I'm gonna set it to public like I normally do, so that way it doesn't stay private. Cause I know one time I uploaded a video, didn't know it was private. 3 hours later, I'm just like, wait, shit's fucking private the entire time. Couldn't even. So anyway, I'm gonna make it public. But I appreciate y'all coming in. Appreciate the likes and shit. that helps out the channel and stuff. Try to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I know I need to post more stuff, but trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully I can get there at some point. Shit. And get off the road. If I can get off the road, if I can make enough money to get off the road, man, that would be the shit. But I'm on the road for now. But yeah, I appreciate y'all joining me. I'll see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a good night. Peace.